for the most part. And there's a lot of tools here that I'm not even going to get into if you want to play around, or again hit the help section and read some of the user manual. You'll see a lot of different other things that you can do. We're just going to do the basics for right now. So let's get started. So first thing we're going to do is going to title our sequence. I'm just going to double click that and label that audio and video. You might title it whatever the name of your video is going to be, or the name of your team, however you want to label it. That's fine for your sequence. All right, we're going to compare. We're going to that folder that we started off with, where we put our audio file in. We have all our video files in, wherever that's located. We're going to go ahead and export, or import that in. And instead of just the files themselves, we've got a whole folder set up, so we're just going to import the whole folder. It makes it simple. No dragging and dropping. This is actually a little bit easier because everything's right there. So I'm going to select that from my desktop. Again, if it's in your documents, you would find it, but in my case, it's down here on my desktop. Okay, and I'm going to bring that in. And as you can see, if I just click that little arrow next to the folder, I can see all of my files now that I need to do in here. And I'm just going to use a couple of them today, but we can just start dragging and dropping now. So the first thing I'm going to do is bring my audio in, and I'm going to bring it all the way to the front here. Again, you can see my scrubber is all the way at the front, and now it's all the way at the back. So to move real quickly here, I could drag this all the way across my video. And again, you can scrub it and hear everything that's going on at the same time. Can hear there, or I can just move myself all the way over, again grabbing this little bar here, and by lengthening that, you can see I grab that into that again. So if I bring all that in there, took a real close look, and bring that all the way across, now I've made my audio file just pretty much in that short span. And you can see that that audio file is actually quite long. What we want to do. So if I scrub this again up here, it says 4 minutes, 8 seconds, approximately 4 minutes and 28 seconds long in terms of what it is. So quite long. I'm not going to be using all that. So scrub all the way back there, and as you can hear, everything was going on. And we only need our audio file as long as our movie's going to be. So eventually we can cut some of that out of there. All right. So the next thing I'm going to do is come up here and grab my file, and with this one, drag that over again. Anything you want to drag over and look at, you just kind of hold it over that line and move it. But it would be the weight map on plane effector with sound effector. And this was a file that I made with the sound effector in 740. And I don't want to drag it up in video 2. I want to go ahead and use video 1. That's kind of my main one. So again, V1 with this. And you can see it's only 28 seconds long, that clip. So quite small, whereas my audio's quite long. And I want to cut some of this audio out. So the first thing I'm going to do here, before I render this, as you can see it over there when I scrub the timeline. But if I push play, all I do is hear sound. And then you saw there was a little unrendered image up there. Just like that. And that means, again, I haven't rendered the file with the audio. So I'm not going to render it quite yet because I'm going to do a few transitions and some cuts and stuff. But you can see how that works. So what I want to first do is I'm going to cut the sound that I don't need here. So I'm going to come up here with the little razor blade, and I'm going to come right across. And you can see it automatically kind of jumps or cues itself or snaps itself actually to that line of that edge of that video. And if I come down with that razor blade right there where my audio is and click cut, now I've just split that audio into 2 clips. Very simple. I'm going to come back up here, and if I hold over there, you can see it says selection tool A, so I can hit A on my keyboard and actually my selection tool will come up. And I'm just going to select that video. It selects it as 2 channels at once, and just hit delete on my keyboard, and now I'm left with just the audio and its length to what I need with the video there. So very simple. So it goes across and then ends, and that's where it's going to end. So here's my video, and again, like before, it's scrubbing back and forth. You can see my folders. Everything's looking good. So the first thing that I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and drop an effect on this. And effects are just kind of change what the video looks like. And again, in the filters, you don't see anything with my video selected here. I'm going to go up, and again, you can use the effects folder and look through those. I'm just going to go up here to go and video filters, and I'm going to go, let's see, if I'm not seeing anything, I'm going to go ahead and double click that and let's see if that gives me, there it is. So again, if you have it selected but you're not seeing anything, everything's grayed out over here, then make sure you just kind of double click that video and it does select that. So video filters, come down here to time, and I'm going to use wide time for this, kind of gives this strange effect with the video. And as again, you can see here, when I push play, I can tell it's moving, can't hear anything, but I can actually see that effect and what's happening with that effect. It's pretty cool. And if I don't like it, I just Command Z and I'm back to normal. So again, I'm going to add this video filter. I'm going to go to wide time, add that in. Alright, so I know that's added in there. I have seen it. I can push play and see it also. With my sound, I'm going to add an effect to that also. So I'm going to go to Effects, Audio Filters, and I'm going to add an echo into that. And if I double click that, I can see actually my audio. I'll bring it down so it's in full frame there. And that's all of my audio over that 28 seconds. And again, you can see the filters of that. There's that echo mix. So again, I can keyframe that, change quite a bit of stuff. So pretty crazy amount of modifications you can make to what you have. So I have both of those effects set. Now the last thing I'm going to do with this is render it out. And by rendering it, it doesn't actually save it or save it as a movie yet, but it does set it up for that. So I'm going to go up here to where it says Sequence, Render All, and since I've changed both the video and the audio, I'm not just going to select the video, but I'm going to select both. And again, you're going to see, you might get a little pop-up that says the sequence project has not yet been saved. Render files will be placed in a folder named Unknown Project. I haven't saved anything yet up here. Save project as. That's fine. It's going to go ahead and set up an unknown project for me on the scratch disk, on the render scratch disk, and that's saved within Final Cut Express's folder. So click OK, and now you can see it's going to write the video. It has finished rendering, and everything's ready to go. If I push play over here now, make sure again my timeline's at the 0 point here. You don't see a little red line up here anymore. It's kind of a bluish purple. It's been rendered out. It's all those transitions that I have now. If I push play here, you're going to hear the effects. It should be a little bit different. And you can see that time effect. The last thing we're going to do here is we have everything set up and ready to go. I'm not going to add any more files to this. I'm finished with my movie. Go to File at the very top up here, Export, QuickTime Movie. Alright, and I'm just going to save this one as audio video and save it. You can save it to that folder that you have. I'm going to save mine just right here on the desktop. It's really easy for me to find. And include audio and video, make sure that's all selected. Make save self-contained movie. Everything else is ready to go. Click save. And there it wrote it. And if I click hide Final Cut Express, go to my desktop here, and you're going to see the audio video movie. If I double click that, now I have my file rendered and playing just as a simple movie. Everything's taken care of. Okay, pretty cool. So I'm going to close that out. And later on we'll go into adding more effects, layering, and actually putting all of our files together in a more interesting fashion. But that's the basics of using Final Cut Express.